I've been dreaming of building a solar farm about a decade, and my desire for it has only grown. Originally, I thought about building it and just selling the power, and it's like passive income. Then I got into Bitcoin mining, and I realized that I could spend electricity and earn Bitcoin. I can keep that Bitcoin, and generally speaking, it's appreciated exponentially over the last 10 years. But I could also just sell it in real time or sell it every month or week, whatever. And it gives me another route to turn electricity into money. The point being, I'm not completely beholden to the power company. If the power company doesn't want to buy my electricity, well, then I have no other routes originally. But now I can say, okay, well, I don't care if you won't buy my electricity. I'll just use it up on Bitcoin mining. And that's where this gets a little more interesting. My electric utility has come out with a new proposal that basically they'll buy electricity from solar farms for 6 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour. There's some variables in there. Let's just call it 6. Hey.
Oh, hi.
What are you doing July 21st, 23rd? I thought you'd say that. Heading down to Mining Disrupt. They're back in Miami, Florida, baby. It's the biggest Bitcoin crypto mining conference in the world. Use our link to not only buy a ticket, but to get a discount. Everything's not buttoned up yet, but I want to run through the first leg of my solar build with you. I've essentially embarked on racking about 400 solar panels. Some are 590 watt, some are 630 watt, and then some will actually be 600 watt as well. I'm using a couple of different models, but to keep it simple, let's just say I'm using a 600 watt Jinko solar panel. So in my location in Virginia, we get about 4.4 hours of peak sun per day. The estimates derate it by 0.84 due to inverter efficiency, wiring losses, Virginia humidity and temperature coefficients. Basically, things get hotter, they don't do as well, they produce less energy. Putting my estimated annual production at 324,000 kilowatt hours per year, or a monthly average of 29 or 887 per day. But remember, in the 3 summer months, you make like 1/3 of your power for the year. These are also bifacial panels, so I'm hoping to see higher output than these estimates can account for. If I only increase them by 5 to 10%, we're looking at over 350,000 kilowatt hours of annual production. But there are some bottleneck constraints here, like dealing with my electric services. How much can I backfeed in real time? I could overpanel the AC-DC ratios. There's so many factors at play when it comes to this, and I'm making a whole video series on this, and I'm breaking it down piece by piece. And as I do more and learn more and hopefully earn more, then I will create more content and ideally better content, breaking it down, what I did, what works, what I would do in retrospect, and how you can get started doing something like this. Because what's really cool about solar is you can do it small, medium, or very, very large, whatever fits your interest, how much room you have, and of course, the biggest constraint for most people, the budget. So you could have a residential system or a commercial system, right? I'm in commercial territory here on a commercial electric service. But if this is getting served up at a really bad commercial rate or my residential rate of 14 cents per kilowatt hour, the mid estimate here of 323 kilowatt hour annual production would be worth $45,000. That's more than my old salary. I would make more than my old salary, right, of value with 400 solar panels. That's kind of crazy. If I'm coming in at 10.5 cents per kilowatt hour, that's $34,000 of annual value, and 9 cents, that's $29,000 of annual value. So here's the deal, right? If I run Bitcoin miners right now, I'm paying between 9 and 14 cents per kilowatt hour to run them, right? I'm buying retail electricity, whether that's at a residential or commercial rate. I mean, my all-in price is 9 cents per kilowatt hour or more. for every kilowatt hour, right, I buy to run this gear. Now, if I just do nothing and I sell it back to the power company and I don't run Bitcoin miners, then I am essentially earning $19,426 of electricity. I'm also generating SRECs, SRECs, or Virginia Solar Renewable Energy Credits. Those have a tangible value. SREC prices also went up for the first time in what feels like forever, going from $24 to $27, making all of the return on investment projections, estimates, equations, everything looking better. And if we can keep that trajectory, right, continue going up, that's going to be more and more passive income. I think you take the DC number times 1.4, which would be 240, times 1.4, which would be 336. Let's say it's 320. Let's take again a lower side here. Right, so let's just take, we said 320, right, times 27. So that's $8,640 worth of SRECs generated annually. And let's just say, no matter what we do, we're slapping over $8,000 of value back on top of what we're earning here. And let's compare it to Bitcoin mining. We take an S21XP 270 terahash Bitcoin miner, 3645 watts, real-time power draw. That's a daily power consumption of about 88 kilowatt hours, 3.645 kW times 24. Over 30 days, that's 2624 kilowatt hour. So check this out. 6, 9, 10.5, 14, right? Obviously, the more your power cost is, the more it costs to run a machine. So, and my baseline is just going to be selling power back to the company, right? If this machine doesn't make more than $160 a month, what am I doing? I'm just going to run it for a loss, right? Well, right now, the estimated daily income is $10.62 worth of Bitcoin. Monthly, that breaks out to $320. That's pretty easy math. Even I can do that one. Pretty easy math. That's twice as much as I would earn just selling my electricity back at 6 cents per kilowatt hour. Here's another way to break it down. Instead of selling my electricity for 6 cents per kilowatt hour, I could sell it for over 12 cents per kilowatt hour by simply mining Bitcoin. I'm doing this math kind of backwards real quick, but if you look at running a machine at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, right, it's going to use up that same power consumption. It's got a $3.15 cost. So if I take that power and say I just sold it, right, that's how much I'd be getting. The point is, I'm essentially doubling my electricity returns by running a Bitcoin miner. But it's not all easy passive income, as some YouTuber told me. Okay, I need to own a freaking machine. I gotta buy some hardware. So if I go to asicmarketplace.com, a longtime supporter of the VoskCoin YouTube channel, a place where I have bought many, many miners, and I go and I want to purchase an S21XP, which has been rising in price over the last month. Before I punch in code VoskCoin, it's $37.29 to buy this thing. All right, so I need to clear $37.29 before I even break even. And so if I'm mining $320 a month, it's going to take me about 12 months to pay off this miner. So let's say my electricity is free, right? I got paid off solar. I want to pay off the miner. I'm not saying that's the situation, but I'm saying like that's the example here. It'll take me a year for this miner to be paid off if I took it and I dumped it in real time and not accounting for all kinds of variables. Bitcoin could 3x and this becomes super lucrative. Bitcoin could lose 50% of its value, and mining always gets more difficult year over year, so we'll be earning less and less, and that return horizon could get longer or be less lucrative. But here's the deal. I'm in a sunk cost scenario, baby. I already have a lot of miners, and most of them are paid off or super fucked. So who cares at that point? The bottom line is, I'm sitting on a mining farm that's already built. Why wouldn't I add solar if I can? Which I can. I don't care if I have to sell all of my Bitcoin. I don't care if I have to sell all of my stocks. I don't care what I have to do. Because if I'm already sitting on a Bitcoin mining farm and all I need to activate my real life money cheat code is free electricity, then I'm gonna focus on the free electricity. I'm still waiting on my phone call from NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I got some power for you now. Don't you want to build a shed data center over here? Come on. It would look nice next to the other sheds. I'm done running the numbers wrong. The electricity companies will continue to jack my electricity rate and yours. Also, I don't want to just be brute forcing a bunch of hardware all the time and just running a ton of gear and racking up a massive electricity bill. The reality is, long term, I can expect my electricity rate to cost 12 cents per kilowatt hour or even more. So let's bump the numbers. What is my return like at 12 cents per kilowatt hour? 400 solar panels is gonna generate me between $35,000 and $40,000 worth of electricity at that price. It would give me the ability to run 8 to 10 S21XP Bitcoin miners 24/7, 365. If I ran those miners for the next 25 years at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, I would spend $926,000. Let's just call it $1 million. No, I don't think that these miners will even be viable in 25 years. But I can stay 1 to 2 cycles behind in Bitcoin mining hardware, get it for dirt cheap all the time, and just be running it with free electricity. I bought these solar panels from China for $58 per panel delivered to my doorstep. That means 23 grand of solar panels will save me $1 million in the next 25 years. Obviously, there's a lot more than just the panels. You've got to buy inverters, you got to buy wire, you got to buy all the electric infrastructure like load centers and breakers and whatever else you need. And I'll make another video breaking down everything I used, how much it cost, all that stuff. But here's the TLDR. It's gonna be worth it. Just like it's gonna be worth subscribing to VoskCoin. I'm Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel, and this was my solar brain dump. 10 seconds of tails.